Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to any new subscribers. It's my delight and pleasure to have you. I hope you stay for a good long while. You don't have to wait till you get to the end to subscribe. You can just subscribe anytime while watching this video, including right now, but I hope you do stick around until the end. I want to talk about the lack of an apology, particularly when it's due, first of all, when it's due. Unfortunately, let me get my chair properly. Unfortunately, people seem to somehow or another find it very difficult to apologize. Now, I don't know why that is, but I know for me, I find that a person who can't or won't apologize, well, one is a different thing. A person who can't find it a sense of comfort to apologize and to amend for the apology, not just say, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry about that and let it go. No, no. To have a conversation about why the apology is necessary to cleanse the air. A person that can't do that, in my mind, is broken in pieces to some degree or the other. Now, I know that sounds strong. I know, I know that sounds strong. When you are unable to sit in a situation by which you've placed yourself, because let's let's say you're the one to apologize, right? If you're the one to apologize, you've placed yourself in a situation by way of your choices. And the outcome, although you're not the only person involved, the outcome points to you by which an apology is necessary. If you're unable to do that, there are broken pieces within you that are preventing you from doing that. There are broken pieces within you that prevent you from doing that. So let's just look at a couple of them. I am not a psychologist or a therapist, but I am a personality and I do understand behavior modification. And I have worked in organizational behavior and development, and I do understand people. And I have devoted a lot of my own time and energy in self mastery. I'll just put it that way. Still imperfect, extremely imperfect, but the self mastery piece is important to me. This is why um, people that have had that background or that path, I would say, they're devoted to the sacred path by which develop the standard in their lives, that they're not at all uppity, different, better. They're very baseline, but they don't let anyone break that standard because they've worked hard to develop it. So this is why I can say that such a person who has done that understands the power of an apology, because the ability to do that is what got the person into their self mastery. And so this is why I can say a person who has challenges, who you have to almost hold to the fence or hold to the grind just to get them to apologize for something by which they absolutely should, that person is not developed in that area. And that's fine. That's not a judgment. That is a recognition that the person has some development to do if they choose to do it. Most people don't. People just like, I'm not gonna do it, and they're that. And what happens with that is you end up dismissing person after person in your life, such to the point to where those close to you begin to narrow and narrow and narrow. And though people may still care for you and may still love you and may still um, have good thoughts of you, they understand that you are that way and they just don't go there with you. I'll put it that way. So let's just talk about the apology. And I've given so many videos an apology over since I've had this channel, actually. And I find that it's always a worthy return to that subject matter because people are just not acclimated to it. And what happens when you're not acclimated to it? You tend to not do it at all. And the lack of an apology for some people who are anticipating your apology gives them the liberty to decide what they want to do because the apology hasn't occurred. So they get to make a choice as to how they plan to engage with you or not moving forward, or put some distance, or do some, set some boundaries with you. And the reality is that we like few boundaries. We want to be liberated in our relationships. I know I do. I like to be free in expressing myself in my relationships. So when a person can't apologize and they know that the apology that, let's put it this way, a clear error occurred on their behalf, a clear error occurred on their behalf. The failure to give the apology keeps the issue that's the clear error alive. It keeps it alive. And when it's alive, then typically there's no conversation between the two people. There's some sense of distance. There's some sense of silence. It's hurting relationship, despite what type of relationship it can be. But it puts a feather between the two people. And so, as I said before in a video about 4 parts of an apology, I'm sorry. You say what you did for what I did. It won't happen again. Will you forgive me? Now, you see how that just ran off of right off the top of my head, because I was raised with that. That is the criteria for a good, heartfelt apology. But if you do something and you don't cover that, then what you did can reoccur because you've not been forgiven by what you did. So let's say, for example, let's say, for example, well, I don't even know what's a good example. What did I do? What would I do? Uh, let's say, for example, that I forgot to pick you up from the airport. Oh, I would never do that though. That's not good. I'd never do that. I don't even want to give an example. I don't need to give an example. Give a good apology. Just giving a good apology. I'm sorry, I did XYZ. It won't happen again. Would you please forgive me? And hopefully the person will say yes, and that'll take care of that. And if the person says no, you have to accept that. Depending on what you did, the person can say, thank you for apologizing. I'll have to give it some thought. You have to accept that. Whoever we are, we have to accept that because there's no guarantee for their forgiveness, although we hope that they do. And so we never know if they will or not until you apologize. So just get to the apology and live a free life of limit the number of regrets that you have between personhoods, meaning between another person. Because if you're apologizing to a person or a situation. You don't have to apologize for your car. You don't have to apologize for your home. You don't have to apologize for your pets unless don't do anything to your pets. But you're typically having a conversation with someone. Give a thoughtful, heartfelt apology and ask them and acknowledge what you did and let them know it won't happen again. And how can you all move forward and be ready for what they say, good, bad, or indifferent. Okay. And I love you. If you've gotten this far, please click like, please click subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.